Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. This is the Imperfect Ashlers Masonic Podcast. All the views and opinions stated on this show are strictly those of the host and their guests and do not reflect the opinions of any Masonic Lodge or Grand Lodge. What's up, guys? We are the Imperfect Ashlers, back for episode number 4. We appreciate all the support so far and everything. This is going great. We are trying to get on a little bit more regular schedule. And we just, like I said, we just appreciate everybody listening and the support we have gotten from everybody. So a little question for you this morning, brother. Oh, by the way, I'm Brother Zach. I'm sorry.
And I'm Brother Ben.
Yeah, beside me is Brother Ben. I forgot to do introductions, but y'all know who we are by now, I hope. But just a question for today. Brother Ben, you ever heard of a guy named John Skeen?
Never.
Just a little piece of Masonic history. Brother Skeen is cited as being the first Freemason to settle in the New World, aka America. He was a member of Aberdeen Lodge number 1 in Scotland. And I've heard, done a little bit of research, not a whole lot, but that they have some of the older records that are older than the Grand Lodge of England.
I have heard that.
But he came to the New World in the late 1600s, and he was actually deputy governor of West New Jersey before New Jersey was founded, I guess. Well,
shout out to West New Jersey.
But he was deputy governor there from 1684 to 1692, and I will cite that. I got all that from Wikipedia. So whether that's true or not, I guess we'll never know. And some of our listeners are not Freemasons, so I haven't really thought about it till just now, till I started writing out our show notes and stuff. But some people may not know what Freemasonry is, so we've got some stuff here. We're actually reading this off. This comes from the Grand Lodge of Alabama website, and I'm gonna let Brother Ben tell you what our Grand Lodge has to say that Freemasonry is.
Thanks, Brother Zach. Just what is Freemasonry? Freemasonry is the world's oldest and largest fraternity. Its history and tradition date to antiquity. Its singular purpose is to make good men better. Its bonds of friendship, compassion, and brotherly love have survived even the most devised political, military, and religious conflicts throughout the centuries. Freemasonry is neither a forum nor a place of worship. Instead, it is a friend of all religions, which are based on belief in one God. The Grand Lodge of Alabama website is where this comes from.
Yep, like I said, that's from what our Grand Lodge says. And another question that I have thought of that a lot of non-Masons may have is, what do Freemasons exactly do? And you may or may not agree if you are a Mason. I don't know. I agree with this statement, but the Grand Lodge of Alabama also says, for what Freemasons do, Freemasons are respectable citizens who are taught to conform to the moral laws of society and to abide by the laws of the government under which they live. They are men of charity and good works. They remain unchallenged as the world's greatest philanthropy, which is another name for charity, obviously. The Freemasons of America contribute more than $1 million every day to charitable causes, which they alone have established. As I'm quoting, I'm going to do it exactly. These services to mankind represent an unparalleled example to the humanitarian commitment and concern of this unique and honorable fraternity. So that kind of gives you an idea. Yeah, we have our secret rituals and stuff like that, but at the same time, we, for lack of a better word, we are charities. I mean,
absolutely. And what is charity?
Giving back.
Giving back. Charity is love.
Yeah, yes, it is.
That's what we want to do on these communities, is love them.
Right.
With generous donations in any way that we can help.
Right. Even the Bible says faith, hope, and charity interchangeable with love.
And the greatest is love.
Is charity. So after saying all that, we're going to get into this. Last episode, we talked about how you can benefit from travel, kind of what it's like to travel, and some of the similarities and differences and everything. Today, we're going to talk about being at home, supporting your home lodge. And I think, Brother Ben, you'll agree with me, and I think any Mason that is listening would agree. Attendance matters. Be there. Be in the lodge. Right.
Yes, it does. Attendance does matter, and I sometimes you as well as I and other members, we have conflicts that come in, whether it be family, whether it be business, and these things sometimes get in the way of our obligations and duties to masonry. But to be prompt, to really to be early,
Right.
to always to be at
That's when the fun starts. Is that
that's
meeting
the
before the
the
meeting.
meeting before the meeting and the fellowship that we have with Brother Hubert and Brother Bill and some of these older gentlemen. That's the best part of Lodge to me, being there on a regular basis.
Right. Yeah,
Everybody in the Lodge needs
and
us.
you get a lot of that insight from those guys. You get to hear about the old days and how things used to be, and especially like right now with Grand Lodge coming up, that's when I get to ask a lot of those questions. I mean, yeah, you get to ask the questions in Lodge too, but that you get a lot of insight from just being there and being present, fellowship, and you get to know these guys. I mean, between me and you, I feel like between Lodge and doing this podcast and just everything back and forth, I feel like we've gotten to be pretty good buddies.
Oh man, one of my
uh,
best friends is sitting right here, and I tell you what, it's just like the God above put us together, and I love Brother Zach. I love all of my brothers, and we can go online and we can research and we can find all this information that we can about masonry, but some of the best information we get is going to be coming from people that have carried the torch before us.
exactly.
you know
Yep.
Brother Hubert is an excellent source of information, and I love to hear him. He's a past district lecturer,
Yeah.
and
We're gonna have to get him on the
and
show
so is
one day.
yeah, and so is Brother Tommy Bassett from the Coosa Valley
Yep.
929. Both of
Yep.
those guys, they're just just a wealth of knowledge, a wealth of wisdom and information, and that's what I seek out in
Right.
masonry.
And you say that, I when I came in, a lot of the lodge itself was older men, elderly men, things like that. And you say wealth of knowledge. It's not about how long you've been in. Yes, the longer you've been in, a lot more that you can learn, but at the same time, it's applying yourself to it, actually.
Putting the
And
principles to work.
exactly. And that's what gets me into that next point that I've got is another thing that really helps your lodge learn the work. I mean,
Learn the work.
it I don't know how many times I've been to other lodges and trying to put on a degree, and there's just people there that don't know the work. I mean, you've got these young guys, and of course, if you're brand new into masonry, it's not expected of you to learn it right away. But start.
And Brother
Um,
Zach, right now I'm teaching a gentleman his lessons, and that's just going through and you can affirm this, that going through the lessons and just hearing it the way that you learned it, it just ignites that fire and just
oh, it
makes you want
does.
to delve deeper.
Yep.
And I'm gonna confess here, I'm a little bit envious of you and your knowledge on the stair lecture. That's something that I would definitely want to get on ASAP.
And we can fix that definitely.
I just every time I hear somebody do that stair lecture, I'm like, wow, I need to learn that.
Yeah, and that's I learned it because I think it's so nice. It's one of the most beautiful
Beautiful,
pieces of Freemasonry,
beautiful.
the ritual work at least. And I went to Sam Thompson Lodge. Well, one of our brothers is a plural member there. He's a member of our lodge. That's his home lodge, and he attends there because he's moved. But I went up there and did that for them, and because mainly because nobody there knew it, which I'm not bad mouthing them by any means. But I do that more to perfect it myself. I want to be able to do it in open lodge as much as I can to I can do it all day long sitting there in my head by myself, but when I get in front of somebody, especially
Nerves kick in,
exactly,
anxiety,
and we
absolutely.
had a past Grand Master there, so
Oh
I
boy.
wanted to make sure I was on my P's and Q's, dotting my T's and
Thinking
crossing
about
my
these past
T's.
grandmasters and all these the district lecturers, it just make me seize up sometimes. I just can't. I know what I need to say, but I just start spitting and sputtering.
I think it's the shininess from their aprons, the gold on the aprons
That
is
is
shining in your eyes. But that is definitely, learning the work. I mean, to me, it's fun. I enjoy it. the work itself makes me, think back to the days of King Solomon's temple and what we are as Masons actually doing in the lodge and everything. And it almost takes you back in a way. I
And
mean,
brother Zach, I ran into a guy from the lodge, the observant lodge
yeah.
at York Wright, and I ran into that meets in the York Wright building, and we were talking, about that, and I was telling him how much I'd like to get back up there because the work is so sharp.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the verbiage is so sharp, the lines are so sharp, and I was complimenting him on how that went, and he was like, to me, all this stuff is sacred. That
Oh
line
yeah.
is sacred, the verbiage, all this stuff is sacred. And if we don't perfect it, if we don't hand it down right, what's to say this whole thing is not just going to be jarbled up in future generations?
Right. And that's what, we're in such you hit on it earlier with reading that from the Alabama Grand Lodge website. You know, the this is an ancient and honorable fraternity, and we're the ones that are going to carry that on. We're the ones that carry the torch on to the next generation, and if we're not doing it right, then it's just going to get worse and worse and worse. And to that point as well, you know, when somebody sees you doing that work and it's perfection to perfection, I guess you could say, it's impressive.
Very.
And that's something I read this quote. It was from a book called 365 Level Steps. It's Masonic Meditations is by, I don't know if it's a brother, but I assume a brother. And I'm probably going to jack his name all up, but John T. Marks,
I think that's
Jonti.
right.
But he said, when we come to Freemasonry, let me start that over. When we come to Freemasonry, we are initiated into its customs and mysteries not only through the formula of its ritual, but by the words and attitudes of our new made brethren. Just as members of a family may treat each other with easy familiarity when alone, but demonstrate their strength and solidarity when with others, we should take care to show off our craft in its best and most dignified light to a newcomer, when with more experienced brethren, we might be more carefree in our approach. To enjoy the company of our brethren in lodge and at the festive board, which is the meal, is important, but more important is to instill a new candidate proper reverence and respect for the rituals and customs of the order. Um, just looking through it, I don't think I need to read any more of that. That pretty much hit the nail on
And
the
brother
head.
Zach, when we have guys come in, a new initiate, a new entered apprentice or new mason, and they see us doing things sloppy,
Right,
it's just like our children.
right,
Whatever our children see us doing, they'll carry it over into their lives. If they
exactly.
see us slouching or sloppy, they're going to do the same thing. And it's just like when we're in there and we're doing the ritual work, if we're not sharp with our pronunciation or
Right.
enunciation of words, if we're not sharp on our lines of march and things, then what's to instill upon them that they should be?
Right, exactly. We're the role model for these new candidates, and in the first degree, it is said that you're starting your Masonic life. You are the youngest entered apprentice. You are starting your journey in Masonry. So it's almost like being a child, which we do have children here. So if you hear those in the background, that's exactly what that is. They're not being
Those are my
tortured.
grandkids,
Yeah, my kids are here too. Um, but
and that's a good thing.
oh yeah, yeah, and I want my kids to grow up around masonry, around church,
Yes,
around
I do too.
masonry.
Around church, around
Um,
masonry,
I actually did a TikTok live last night. You get on TikTok and it's
you juggle bananas or something like that.
yeah, I wish I could do that. Be more entertaining than what I normally do.
Oh man,
But no, I had a brother from South Carolina got on there, and he actually he does like leather works and stuff with does clothing, hats, and things like that. I think he does some woodworking and stuff, brother Adrian. Um, and I had my kids on there, I had them in the video, and we had several people in there. But he told me, made the comment. Um, well, first off, he called my son nephew, and that just warmed my heart. I loved it.
Nicholas didn't freak out because they didn't call him Nicholas, right?
Oh, he was happy. He was getting a shout out. But he said, he would look good with a DeMolay hat on. And I said, yeah, I guess he would. I said, he's not old enough yet, but I think that'll be something he'll get into. And believe it or not, he's actually going to send my son a hat that says DeMolay on it, and he's sending me one with a square and compass on it. So,
And we recently have somebody just petitioned our lives that was a
yeah,
DeMolay boy,
started out as DeMolay.
and I'll give a shout out to Brother Brian Autry's son, Bound.
Yeah.
And when you see this young man and the work that he's done, you just get this welling up of pride, and he's gonna. I know he is gonna be an asset in the future to Freemasonry.
Yes, definitely. Now, is Brother Brian, is he still over DeMolay for the state or?
I want to say that's Brother Ted.
Okay, okay. I know at one time Brother Autry had some type of title or something, and he's done a lot
Yeah,
with DeMolay.
I don't want to get in there
Uh,
and be wrong, but I think
yeah,
it's and I forget Brother Ted's. You remember Brother Ted's last name?
not right
All
off.
I know
No.
is he has really good hair.
Yeah, oh yeah, very good. Which Brian does too. Brother Brian has some good hair too. He doesn't like mine, just shave it. Going back to the degree work and everything, that just one of the things that really gets me too is don't just learn the work or don't just memorize the work. Learn what you're doing, why you're doing it and stuff. And that's what, when I started learning that stair lecture, I would read it and I memorized it, and that wasn't the problem. But I told myself I wasn't going to give it. I wasn't going to do it in open lodge until I kind of understood a little bit more about what it meant. So I've looked a little bit more deeper into it and everything. And the more you look at a lot of that work, it's just beautiful. I mean, the charges and things like that. It gives me goosebumps.
We've been going we've been going through Brother Ron's lesson, and as we've gotten into
Brother Ron's our one of our new EAs.
newest Mason to our lodge, and so proud of that, and glad to have him on board and in lodge with us. But as we've gone through the lessons, and he's realizing exactly what happened to him and what's going on. And it's just like his eyes just open up and he's like, oh, that's what that means. And
Yeah,
it lights a fire up inside of me too, man, just to want to dive deeper. And there's just so much knowledge and so much wisdom that we still have to learn.
right. And a lot of the websites and stuff use the tag of making good men better, and that's how we do that is through you know teaching new candidates or new brethren what what exactly they're going through, why they're going through it, what it means, and like with the working tools and things like that. It's good to emphasize that, and that's a lot of the reason I wear a Masonic ring. It's got the
Me
square and
too.
compass and
Love
the
mine.
yeah the trowel and
It's some of
the
our treasure,
plumb.
right?
Yeah, exactly, that we bought ourselves.
Some of our treasures we bought ourselves. That's right.
But that's what going back to it. I mean, the working tools is pretty much the basis of masonry. I mean that using the square to
Square our actions.
exactly. It teaches you how to treat other people, how to the compasses teach us how to treat ourselves.
That's right.
Um,
How to treat our inner man. You know that
exactly.
we need to circumscribe. You know things and keep everything in due bounds.
Right. And it leads you into the virtues, temperance. That's
Fortitude.
one temperance was one that I've had a lot of trouble with in my past.
Me too.
When it comes to especially, I was an alcoholic for a long time, and I was definitely not very temperate with
I don't know
that.
that I was an alcoholic, but I was practicing to be one.
And that's that masonry has taught me how to
Yeah.
treat myself better, treat the world better, and it's through the working tools, through the
And
rituals.
being accountable to other men.
Exactly, yes, very true. And that's something that, like I said, with me being a past alcoholic and just over a year ago giving my life back to Christ, you know, you've been very good at keeping me accountable for a lot of my
And
things.
you, me as well.
And that's what Masons do. I mean, we look out for each other,
Brotherly
and
love, right?
yes, and it's not just for Masons. It's you should take it a step further and man on the street help him just as much as you would help a brother. I would say. I mean, that's the way I feel about it. I mean, Masonry is teaching me to love my brothers, but at the same time, all of humanity is our brothers. Like I said, we came from the ancient. Well, it's assumed that we came from the ancient stonemasons of Solomon's temple, and going back to the working
The
tools.
operative
That's
masons
you know, yeah, that's what the tools that they used to build that temple, and we're using them to build our temples.
to build our
So
temples. That's right.
um,
Is the
just a
square
yeah,
being one of those.
yeah, the square, the 24-inch gauge, the plumb
The
level,
trowel.
the trowel. The
The,
trowel's probably my favorite one. I love
yeah,
that.
especially the trowel.
Spreading the love. And going back to traveling, that's why I do that. I want to not only spread love to them, but I know they're going to spread love back to me, and I just love that fellowship.
Yesterday at York Wright, we went through chapter yesterday and the Royal Arch, and I met two guys. They're from up in Walker County, and I'm gonna give a shout out to them. I don't know if they're listening, but their names are Logan and Richard. And I don't know these guys other than I've seen them at Grand Lodge, but the friendship that was there,
Yeah,
the common bond, it
yeah,
was just like when you and I met.
yeah,
Brothers united, and it was just the conversation flows so easy, and that's one of the things that I really love
yeah. I'm
about
I'm I'm right
Freemasonry.
there with you on that, and I'm the same. I mean,
And we only have that through the working tools.
exactly. I'm the same way. I went up to Sam Thompson. I guess it was last week
And I
for
wanted
a
to go
degree
so
with
bad.
them.
I'm sorry.
No, you would have loved it. They
I
had a
know I
great
would.
meal, and I got there probably an hour and a half before we were supposed to start eating.
And that's the
Uh,
only reason I didn't go because you left so early.
um, but I got there and their junior warden was there. He was cooking, and I just sat in there and talked with him. Just shot the stuff, and you know,
Does their junior warden cook?
oh yeah, oh
We're going to
yeah,
have to get you
good.
on that stove, it sounds
Well,
like.
my year is not far from being up. Thank God we can actually eat
Oh,
something
man.
good. But
Brother,
that's
Brother Dylan's going to step it up if he gets
yeah,
that station.
Dylan. You hear that? If you're listening, you gonna have to step it up, brother. But no, and that's we've never met some of these people in our lives. We may never meet them, but
But
they're
the
still
common bond is there.
exactly. We know that Masons and I'm gonna say Ohio because I spoke with some brothers on TikTok the other night from Ohio. We've got brothers in Ohio that I would treat just like I treat you. And if they're a good Mason, they're going to treat me the same as I would treat them. I mean,
Let's give a shout out to those brothers that are over in Israel.
yes,
Our
yeah,
our
we,
Masonic brethren in Israel. We our prayers are with you. Our thoughts are
yes,
with you. Our hearts are with you. And our emotions sometimes are, you know, we look around at what's going on there, and our emotions get all clouded up, and we just know that we're all in prayer for you, and we're all concerned with what's going on right now at this time in that part of the
yes.
world.
I can agree with that
And
100%.
also as well as to our brethren in Austria
Yes, Austria and
and
Austria.
Australia.
Yeah, we do have some people that have listened in from out there
Wouldn't that be
across the
nice to do a little
pond.
traveling across the pond and go
Yeah,
see those guys?
hey, mates, not making fun of you, sorry. But no, that I thought that was cool when I saw that. I don't know if they're brethren or not, but if y'all are still on here, we appreciate y'all tuning in. This is just something we're doing for fun. We're making no money off of this or anything. So
This is
it's
because we love Freemasonry.
exactly, and we do want to get Freemasonry out there. We are proud of the craft. We're proud of the state, our state Grand Lodge and everything. Like you said, we just truly love Freemasonry. And
And you read it earlier from the grand chapter of what Freemasonry, or I read it
right,
actually,
yeah,
and there's my memory again, but what Freemasonry stands for and means.
right. And it is. It's all about that charity. And going back to the Israel thing, I know there's a lot of countries out there that are sending money to them and stuff like that. And that's what Freemasonry is about. We're helping out um, people in nations we've never set foot in before. That we've never met any of these people. And
But still our brethren, and we still have a common bond. And like I said, if there's anything that can be said, our prayers, our thoughts, and our hearts are with each and every one of
right.
them.
And like I think it's been mentioned before, but the old saying stands true. You never look down on anybody unless you're helping them up.
That's right. Have given them a helping hand. That's right.
Stay on the level. That's one of my other favorite Masonic sayings. Everybody, we meet on the
Meet
level.
on, yeah. What is it?
Um, what's that? The
Meet,
meet on
meet on the
act on the square,
act on
meet
the
on the
square and on the
level.
meet on the level. That's
Yeah,
it.
and that it does. It holds true. I mean, we are brethren. We all go through the same stuff, and there's no contractual obligation to this other than the contract you make between yourself and your God. And to me, being able to uphold something, we've got millions of brothers around the world that uphold that obligation every day.
And you know as well as I know, whenever just on a local level at Benham Jacobs and at Coosa Valley, whenever a brother is not there, I don't know if you feel this, but it affects me.
Oh yeah,
It affects me, and I've got a couple of really close brothers that they just kind of slacked off and not coming to lodge, and these men mean a lot to me. And when they're not there, it affects lodge for me.
it does. Yeah, I mean, there's even like I know you had to miss last week, and
And I may miss this Thursday because I
and
have an obligation at
right.
church.
And it's just that to me, that day of the week is that, I get to be with my brothers.
I'll get
And
that
and it
straight with Brother
does.
Bill.
It does change it when
People aren't there.
somebody's not able to attend for whatever reason. And you know, most of the time it is for good reason. There are some that just slack off and don't come. Uh, and I don't see, I couldn't imagine doing that. I was that person at one time and I look back on it and I hate myself for it. But the the brotherhood, it's all about that fellowship, and that is, like I've said before, that's my favorite part of it. And we meet, one night a week, Thursday nights, and I wouldn't miss that for the world. That is,
And
it's almost as important as
many can do
church.
together what is hard for a few, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. And like I said, Freemasonry to me is almost as important as church. That's the level that I put Freemasonry on. And it's nothing it does for me, but
And what was the quote that you had that Freemasonry and religion were so earlier in our podcast?
oh, talking about in the stair lecture, Freemasonry is so far interwoven with religion as to lay us under obligation to pay that rational homage to the deity.
Absolutely. I love that.
Yeah, I do too. I mean,
That gives me chills.
yeah, it does. I mean, if you take it the right way, if as long as you don't come in and just memorize the words, you have to actually apply it.
It's a heart thing.
It is very much so. And going back to the charity, I know you had some stuff you wanted to shout out real quick. Some of the charities that we do in the York Rite.
Yeah, and last week we were talking about charities we might be involved with on a local level, and we mentioned the bass tournament that we have there at Coos Valley 929. And me and you, we talked a little bit about maybe even getting one of those started
Right.
at B&M Jacobs, and hopefully that's something that we might have in the future. But on the pellet bodies, and we'll talk about this possibly next week.
Yeah, we could always dive more into
In the
that
Knights
stuff.
Templar, we have the Knights Templar Eye Foundation, and then we have the CMMRF, which is the Cryptic Masons
Yeah.
Research
Yeah.
Foundation, and also the we have ROAR, which is the
Royal
Royal
Arch
Arch
Research.
Research Assistance,
Yeah.
and we'll get more into those individual charities and what we're donating to and what we're supporting as Masons whenever we give our contributions to those foundations.
That might be a good episode to have Brother Tommy come on.
I think so.
That
I
might.
don't know that we can get him next week, but we do. He's so eloquent in his speech, and when he goes over this thing, he always I call it a spiel, but it's really not that. It's just that he's trying to reach out to brethren to let them know how necessary it is for us to fund these things. And
Now,
there's kids out there that are hurting.
oh yeah,
We've got the car show coming up in Lineville. It's going to be November the 4th and 5th, Saturday and Sunday. I think November the 4th is a swap meet. So that's more of, somebody may bring an old carburetor in
parts.
there for a Model T, and somebody may have a one off of a 1928 I don't know, whatever. But anyway, that's a swap meet, but the actual car show, and I believe it's the largest in the state, is, or one of the largest in the state, will be Sunday, and that thing's gonna, I think, it kicks off at 8 o'clock. So if anybody's
Yeah,
listening
if
out
you're
there and
in
around
come on out.
Limestone, we'd love to see you. Me and my wife will be at the gate taking up money, and as well as another couple, we're going to be helping, and that's all the money, all the proceeds, those go to the Shriners Hospital, and those are kids in need.
Oh yeah, definitely. And that's something
And a
I
shout out to Brother Winston Each and all the work that he does for our
yes.
Freemasonry.
Now, on the Templar or the Yorkite charities, which one is Brother Tommy over? Is it the
The
Templar
Knights
Eye
Templar Eye
Foundation? Okay,
Foundation.
so we'll try to get him on here because he could probably tell us a lot more
And
about
yeah,
what
and
that
a
actually
lot of
goes
the
to.
Knights Templar Eye Foundation, we do a lot with, and I can't, I would be, if I tried to pronounce the word, I would say it wrong, but it's some type of cancer. But since they've started this and the donations that have been made to the Eye Foundation, uh, cross-eyed children and diseases of the eye, they just been on the decline because of the medical advances that have
Praise
been
God.
made. Yeah, praise
Yes,
the Lord, because of those medical advances that have been made by the charitable donations to these doctors that are
yeah,
leading cutting edge technology on this stuff.
yeah. And that's that's not originally one of the reasons I joined Masonry. I knew
It,
about the
it,
Shriners and everything, but
this is the main reason that I got involved in Masonry
right, and
was the
that's
charitable work.
yeah, and I love that. That's one of my other favorite parts. The fellowship's number one, but
Yeah,
that probably comes in
yeah.
a close second. But
Yeah, I knew from just the people that I had been in contact with and past Masons that they did a lot of charity work, and I knew they did good work. And I
right,
know that through the charitable donations, it isn't like we're giving $1.50 is going to that. You're talking about, yeah,
millions.
on a dollar, it's upwards of 93%, I think, of the
Wow.
actual dollar that goes to the
I
research.
need to research all this a little bit more, and we need to have an actual
And I
episode
need
on
to,
these things.
yeah, I need
That's
to, but I think you had the best idea that we need to get Brother Tommy Bassett or Brother Scott.
yeah, he's over. Is it the cryptic Masons?
Yes,
Okay,
and I think, or Aurora.
okay. Yeah, I'd definitely like to get some of them on, and I don't know if they've listened or not yet, but that would be.
I gave Brother Tommy a card. I don't know if he listened. He didn't turn an eyebrow up to me or tell me anything bad so far, so I don't know if he's listened.
No, I've said it in front of several people, and the biggest thing I've got is just make sure you follow the Grand Lodge social media guidelines, which we're, to my knowledge, doing as best we can. If anybody is listening and we've crossed any lines, let us know and we'll cut it out. But yeah, we'll definitely hopefully within the next few weeks maybe we can get somebody to interview on here, Mason or non-Mason, I guess, somebody that may be interested in Masonry. I talked with a guy on TikTok the other day. He's from I can't think of the city, but he's over in Georgia. And today's Sunday, yesterday, Saturday, he actually got raised to the sublime degree of Master Mason.
Isn't that awesome?
And I wish I could have made it over there. Good job. Congratulations.
Delve into
And
the
that
work,
is,
learn the
yes,
rituals.
I'm going to say that is your first step in a long journey. But it's worth every step you take in it. Um, but other than that, I guess we're going to start getting out of here. So keep those everything written down that you have about those charities, and we're going to dive into that next week. I think that'll be a good subject to
That
hit.
will be a good thing to talk about. And hey, if nobody's told you today, I love you, and there's not a thing you can do about it. And in the words of
Amen.
our brother Stephen Air.
Yep, brother Steve, if you're out there listening, we miss you, brother. Be safe out on the road.
Now I'm doing this outro after we recorded that. I'm back home by myself. I've been editing. We forgot to do an outro to this. So anyway, we are on several forums, whatever you call it, the podcast apps. Spotify's who host us. We are on Google, Apple, Amazon Music, Overcast. I don't know what else. YouTube. It'd probably be a day after we record and post, but we will be on YouTube. Hopefully, we're going to get some video going real soon. Once we can afford to actually purchase the cameras. But anyway, we want to say, and Brother Ben would agree with me 100%, I think, to this. We are very appreciative of all the support we've seen in this. the people telling us how good the podcast is and everything. But we want interaction too. We want folks to talk to us, to message us, to uh, interact. Just tell us what you want to hear. Ask us questions about masonry, things like that. The email is imperfectashlerspodcast@gmail.com. Feel free. You can send an email to that, and you can talk smack to me if you want to. I don't care. We just want some interaction. We do have folks listening right now all over the world. Like I said, um, we had somebody from Australia, somebody from Austria, international folks. If you're on here, let me know. I mean, at least let us know where you're from. But anyway, we appreciate all the love. We appreciate the support, and we love all y'all guys. Like he said earlier, we love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Y'all have a good one.